My name's Mike Meade. I've been with the Silverfish Photography Collective since 2002. A proud member. It's been a good run. I hope to have many more years. Um, so, just talking a little bit about the beginning stages of my work here in this show, like how I started to develop this. So the initial exhibition was called 2020, and it was to celebrate 20 years of Silverfish Collective, and also the year 2020 when we were going to initially exhibit this show. Um, my concept and idea didn't really change much when we've transitioned to AFTERIMAGE and this concept. It was just more further refined. I was able to really kind of hone in the images and develop them to a point where I was pleased with them. I really, for me, it was an exercise in observation, just to kind of immerse myself in a space and see what's easily overlooked. Um, and that was kind of like my initial process in this was just to, how can I better observe my surroundings and see if I can find beauty in the easily trampled over. With relation to the concept of after image, for me, it's kind of twofold. I mean, part of it was to look at the potential of a raw image and see what I could draw out of that, what that raw image could become. Uh, and this was something I learned years ago with an image that I'd taken for another exhibit. And I it was one that I was about to throw out. I was literally going to throw this image out. And then I thought, well, it's a garbage image. Why don't I just kind of play around in Photoshop and just see how far I can pull elements out of the image, not fabricate anything, but just pull elements out. And it ended up being one of my favorite images. And so that's been a process that I've been developing for a long time, is to just how can I get the most out of my images from raw images in Photoshop. So I really wanted to explore that with this particular show. And the other side to that, I also wanted to kind of explore the concept of pareidolia. I think that's how you pronounce it. It is basically the phenomenon where, it's kind of human nature. You're gonna find shapes and patterns in randomness. So it's like seeing a face in the clouds, or the man on the moon, or it's kind of, it just, that's how our brain works. We try and make sense out of randomness. I thought it's a really neat phenomenon. So as I started developing these raw images, I was noticing more and more things that, my mind's eye would see in the images. It wasn't just tree roots, it was bones or shapes or, you know, anything. So I kind of wanted to explore that a little bit. And really for me, it's been purely a creative exploration. It's just, when I can, I like to kind of play around in this, and I've always been interested in that concept. And it's kind of, it lends itself to the whole concept of just seeing more in your photos, just to kind of look beyond what's there. And for me, a lot of the times too, with my work, it's been a road of trial and error. There are times I have a vision, and sometimes the vision just goes nowhere through trial and error. Sometimes something good comes out of it. Sometimes it's just serendipity. It's just, I kind of notice something in an image and think, oh, let's explore that a little. Let's open that up. And sometimes some of those things you can't predict, you can't plan, and I like chasing those down as well. So how did I decide on my presentation for this work? It was the same thing. It was more serendipitous. I found the photo that I thought had potential, and I didn't have a really clear plan of how it was going to turn out. I just started pushing everything in Photoshop and pulling out details and kind of just almost like how a painter would kind of start painting with no real idea. They just pick a color they like, or they kind of just go in a direction that they feel. And you can almost kind of get so into it that you're almost trance-like. You kind of pop out of it a few hours later and go, oh, this is neat. I didn't, didn't predict where this was going to go. So it's kind of fun. It's not something I find I can control. I can just like, I'm going to be creative right now. It's just, if you're in the moment and you follow the opportunities, sometimes great stuff can come out of it. Not that I'm saying mine's great, but I am proud of it.